How you all doing? Let's get the David Mann poster in. Look at that. Fucking hell, living the dream. Let's do some milling, eh? So what we've got is, this is the existing headlight mount with this bracket off our Johnny's Trike, and it's not going to fit on the front end that we've fitted. So he's kindly made up a bottom bracket which works beautifully, and he's got provision for his brake lines through there. Don't sure if we're going to use both of them. Anyway, this bolt's on there. This top half is going to duplicate this, and we need to machine that down accordingly. I also want to chamfer this front, put a slope on this front, because it's a big chunk of shit hanging there. You know, I want to neaten it up a bit for him. So I'm going to die cam it up, get it over to the marking out block, and get marking it out. So we know this measures 25.5, which is a really random size. It's not even an inch, is it? So we've set a height gauge at 12.75, and it's got a vernier scale on. I could do a video on its own about understanding and setting this to the vernier scale, but the most accurate you can get is 12.7. So what I'm going to do is mark that centre once this way, and then I'm going to flip the part over and mark it this way, and we end up with two slightly spaced lines, and we'll call that a centre line. Now, we know from the original that the mounting hole is 10mm down from this top surface, and that's actually milled finish on there, so we're going to take that as the top. This time we're going to use a vernier marker. I get a lot of stick off people saying don't use a vernier for marking. This is made for it, so we'll do our 10mm there, and that gives us a top hole, which is this top hole. When it comes to machining it down to size, we're going to set that up in the mill. We'll measure the size of this, which I believe is 20mm. Sorry, 22mm, and we'll take that off our 25.5. So I just look on the calculator. 25.5 minus 22 equals 3.5. Divide by 2 equals 1.75 cut off of this to make it that size. I'm going to put a line around the top where this bracket finishes. Yeah, when this bolts up, I'll mark the top of this bracket all the way around, and we'll do a radius. I'll use a ball end in that corner to finish it nicely. We'll chamfer the edges to duplicate this, and then we'll look at that slope, which I'm going to mark up now. When it comes to cutting the front off it, if you like, the bottom half's going to have a chamfer, big chamfer there, because I think that's too bulky. I think, as nice as this bracket is, to have that hanging off the bottom is fugly. So I'm going to cut across this surface. What I've done, I've measured how deep these mounting holes are. I didn't make this. So I've measured how deep they are, and they go less than halfway. So I've marked the midpoint, and I've worked out that, just done this on some parallels to give me some space. If I put a 20-degree angle block, hold on, get the right way, Ralfy. I'm cutting there, across from there to the bottom corner, which is there, then that'll do us about right. So all I need to do is line up the top of the mounting mark that I've made all the way around, and the midway point at 20 degrees with this block, and I can scribe a line in the die cam, and that'll give us our line to set it in the mill. That's simple. Nothing super accurate, it's just an headlight bracket. But now we can drill the hole, we can machine all 4 sides of the top half down, and we can put that slope on, the big chamfer on the bottom there, or just by working on the lines. Not by working on the lines, you know what I mean. When it comes to cutting the front off it, if you like, the bottom half's going to have a chamfer, big chamfer there, because I think that's too bulky. I think as nice as this bracket is, to have that hanging off the bottom is fugly. So I'm going to cut across this surface. What I've done, I've measured how deep these mounting holes are. I didn't make this. So I've measured how deep they are, and they go less than halfway. So I've marked the midpoint, and I've worked out that just done this on some parallels to give me some space. If I put a 20-degree angle block, hold on, get the right way, Ralfy. I'm cutting there, across from there to the bottom corner, which is there, then that'll do us about right. So all I need to do is line up the top of the mounting mark that I've made all the way around, and the midway point at 20 degrees with this block, and I can scribe a line in the die cam, and that'll give us our line to set it in the mill. That's simple. Nothing super accurate, it's just an headlight bracket. But now we can drill the hole, we can machine all 4 sides of the top half down, and we can put that slope on, the big chamfer on the bottom there, or just by working on the lines. Not by working on the lines. So we've got this mounted on a couple of parallels, and we've set that stop, which is about on the end of the vise, just so if we take it out we can put it back in there. We'll probably use it later when we're machining this down a little bit more, but we're on the parallel, we're against the stop, we can get that nipped up and just taps into place, nice and snug, ready to take that all out. So I've got a wiggler set up in the collet chuck with a screw point, with a fine point on the end, and that's going to let me find this center dot. It is wonderful for doing that sort of thing, which you spin it up until it doesn't wobble anymore. Hold on. Against something other than your finger is preferred. There you go. Now we can use that, we can bring that down towards the job, and we can get up right on that line, and we can say that that is pretty much on that point there. Lock off, ready to drill out. Now I can just go in with a centre drill. Just to get that started. Just peck away. And now I'm in with a 10mm to size, a little bit of WD on there. Okay, so what I've done, I've brought the head of the machine down and locked it off, and then I've used the fine feed to just touch on the surface there. We've got a brand new 8mm 2-flute cutter, and we know that we need to take 1.75mm off each side. So I'm going to go 1mm for the first cut, which is there. So we can lock that top off now. We lock the phone feed off, which the camera's right in the way of, so bear with. We'll just get that locked off there. And we are going at about 1000 RPM, and we're going to take that nice and steady. A little bit of WD. And away she goes. Okay, I'm just going to increase the speed a bit. Go back again. And we'll work our way through until we get down to size. So now we're just taking a light finishing pass. A little bit of WD. What I'm doing is I'm coming just shy of the line that I marked, because I'm going to go in with a ball end mill once I've done all 4 sides, just to give that a little bit of a radius. But we'll speed through this finishing pass for you. Nice light cut. Okay, because I've finished shy of this line, I'm going to leave the tool in place and I'm going to move the part around. We've got to stop. Just make sure there's no swarf in there. And we've got a parallel that's going to deburr that hole before I place it in. In fact, what I'll do, I'll flip it and I'll do that side next. And that'll give us a nice clean cut. And because we've not moved the x-axis, then we know that we're spot on to do the same place in regard to this line, yeah? So we're referencing that. So we'll have a clamp down and we'll go again and work our way around all 4 sides, doing exactly the same. And now we're just bringing that last side down to size before we finish that radius off with the ball end. All being well, I mean, you know, we'll see how that goes. And nice and steady. You can feel it when you reach where you want to be. It's very tactile. I know that I'm just where I need to be. And we're ready to swap bits. So I've switched to a ball end mill, which I'm really struggling to get a focus on. A little 6mm ball end mill. I'm going to run it up, I'm going to touch on, and then I'm just going to move across to clean up this edge. And then I'll leave everything set. And because I've got this stop on, I can take the work out, flip it, and do the next side, flip it, do the next side, carry on until all 4 sides are done. So I'm just going to touch on, try and touch on, there we go. I'm just touching on at that. Now, I can wind the x-axis across to there. And give a nice little cut along that line. A little bit more. And flip the part and do all 4 sides the same. And there's the last side just coming in now. I bet it's not focused. Chips everywhere. Little spring pass back. And that's all good. And now a quick once round with the chamfer tool, just to clean that edge up. That will probably go a little bit deeper there, look. There we go. We can do all 4 edges because we've got the stop set, so we can just flip the part in the vise. We want to find the handle of it. You just flip the part in the vise against the stop, push down, tighten up, run it up, and give it a quick backwards and forwards for the chamfer on all 4 sides, and then we'll do exactly the same with the ends. And now we're ready to take this corner off to do the relief on the front. I've used the same angle block underneath as a parallel just to get it set, and we've also made sure that this line runs true with the top jaw, and it's just above it, so we're not going to go as far as the jaw, which means we won't be taking too much off. We're nicely locked down. We'll get a parallel out of the way, but I'm going to set the end stop like we did before, just in case, you know. You never know, you might want a bit of repeatability, you might want to have to put that back in. So we'll change cutters and we'll get that chopped off. So I've changed that to a 12mm 2-flute end mill, brand new. I've brought the head down to the job, and I'm going to use a fine feed to just touch off, and then we're going to just chop away until we get down to this line. So we'll just bring that down. Bear with. To touch on, that'll do. Yep. And then I'm going to take a 0 me quill, and I'm going to go down 1mm. I'm going to take 40 thou cuts. So we're doing 1mm at a time. And I think that this little mill is about its capacity there, maybe. See what happens. Nothing wrong there. I will zigzag backwards and forwards until the job's done. Another mill. Oh, a bit shaky now. And so on and so forth. Oh, one final pass to finish the sides now, and what I'm doing, I'm working from the outside in. So I'm pushing all of the burrs into the centre of the piece, and what that'll do is save me a lot of clean up after. Just general good practice, you know, and it should result in a nice smooth finish, you know. So work our way around. And that's done. And now a quick chamfer around just to finish. Although, if you're seeing what I'm seeing, the quality, all I can do is apologise for the quality of the filming. It's like I can't get it to focus. I don't know what's going on. Maybe it's having a Monday morning, eh? Who knows? But we'll just whip round with this chamfer tool. Just freehand. Just clean up those edges. And that's the machining done, I believe. And here's the part finished. Well, machining finished. I'm going to give it a media blast. And then we can bolt it on as it sits that way. And I'll show you it in situ. That's it after media blasting. That came out quite nicely. Come out quite nicely. Let's get it bolted up, and we can see it in all its glory. So here we have it all in place, ready to be made shiny black. And that, my friends, is that. If you like what you see, please hit subscribe and the notification bell to keep abreast of what we're up to. Thanks for watching. Lots of love, everyone.